Boom. All right. I think we're going to start the show off with something new, especially because the Eagles are out of the playoffs. Fuck you, Cowboys. All right. That's pretty much it. What's going on, everybody? Happy New Comic Book Day Eve, which is Tuesday. If you're watching the Star Wars show, I think the episode comes out tomorrow. I'm not sure. But regardless, Star Wars, New Comic Book Day is going to be a big week. I can't wait for tomorrow. I know our guest today can't wait for tomorrow because we actually went after the same book. And I'm excited, man. So, yeah, it's just me and the special guest tonight. So let's bring out the special guest, Mr. Vancouver Comic Junkies, joining the house. What's going on, man?
How you doing, man?
Yeah,
it's good to see you.
Dude, the only complaint I have in the world is the fact that it's like minus 20 where I am here in the Niagara region of Canada. It is minus 20, and it sucks because there's so many things I have to, like I had to go to the grocery store. Yeah.
9 degrees, but it's raining here, though.
I'm not going outside. So, yeah. But
yeah, that's why you should move to the West Coast.
Oh, fuck. The California of Canada, as they say.
Yeah, well, it's as good as we get it. Doesn't get much better than here in Canada.
Yeah. But. Oh, fuck. Yeah, see, Wesley's kind of like Toronto area, and he's saying, he's like, the wind is insane right now. Yeah, it is. It's ridiculous over here, man. It is just like, and I have one of those like expensive winter jackets, like the Henley Hansen ones that, like, if it was like minus 40, you could be outside.
You mean Helly Hansen?
Yeah, or Helly Hansen.
Yeah. My wife would slap you for saying it that way.
Yeah. And dude, I'm telling you, like, yes, I'm warm, but like the little bit of like air that hits my eyes or like my legs, I'm fucking frozen, man. It is.
Years ago, I did this TV series. I directed this TV series in Edmonton, and I was stuck there for like 2 months. And they set some record where it was below minus 30. I think it was minus 30 for 30 days straight.
The fuck?
Oh, it was like that was like it was cold even for Edmonton standards. And I didn't even bring a winter jacket with me because I don't even think about stuff like that. And I was wearing like 4 sweaters and like this stupid jacket. I felt like I was gonna die. But your eyeballs freeze. It's horrifying.
Oh man, yeah, that's a little too much for me, man. I used to have a friend that used to live out there out west, and yeah, he would say it's like minus 40. They all have to drive trucks just to like get around and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I don't miss that or like that, so I'm good. But hey, thanks for hopping on today. So we're talking future books, future characters that are going to be hitting up the MCU or DCU. I'm not familiar. I can't remember if I put any DC characters, but there's no hate. I always make up for it in later shows. Speaking of DC, Chris, do you remember the first appearance of Naomi?
Yes.
Nothing. Crickets.
Really?
The show started today at 9:00 p.m. Eastern time on Showcase here in Canada. I don't know what the equivalent is.
Is it a CW show or an HBO?
Yeah. Well, here in Canada, it's on Showcase, which means
it's probably CW.
Shit.
Totally. No, that means it's CW. Yeah, but the CW stuff, like we stopped specking on that stuff like 8 years ago.
I know, but remember how crazy people got with Naomi, and they were like the 9/8 was just a ridiculous book at one point, man. So.
Oh yeah.
It was just funny to see because I kept seeing the commercial for it, like they were advertising it the last like 2 weeks, and then I can't remember who. I think it was like Serge messaged me late last night, and he was like, "Newbie, did you see it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I saw it. It starts tomorrow," and it was just funny because like you see where the FOMO and when that book like really took off.
That was like a year ago, and it went nuts.
Yeah, right? Man, it was insane. But everybody was like fighting and like pushing their grandma down the stairs if the grandma owned the copy. Like it was crazy.
But I got to admit, like we're kind of out of. I mean, we're in COVID, but we're out of like the insanity of COVID. I feel that we are.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, anyway, with comics especially. So, like last summer, I've never experienced crazy people like in the comic community than that summer, because like you potentially could have a book that you bought for $20. It potentially could be worth like $500 3 weeks later if it was graded and stuff. I mean, it was like a license to print money, and people were like, they're almost knifing each other for books in stores. It was crazy.
It's crazy, man. And you know what? I know what everybody's thinking. Newbie, I don't want to push my grandma down the stairs. How do I get a Ludocrats 1 or a free comic book day first appearance of Virus? Just call me.
Ludocrats.
Just call me. I got you. You don't have to push your grandma down the stairs, okay? I got you guys. So, but yeah, man, it's just gonna be crazy. It was just interesting to me because like I went and like looked that book up and like nobody's selling it, nobody's talking about it, and it's just crickets. And I remember people arguing this character is going to be huge, and oh my god, it's like transformation of the DC, and like African American woman, and I'm like, I mean, good for all those things, but I didn't really think it was going to do anything.
Well, if it's on CW, it's not going to do shit. But I hate, man, look at like most books, like a week after the Eternals. I mean, Eternals 1, no one gave a shit about that book. I mean, they were still selling. They were just selling for a lot less.
I think because I heard Swag talk about this. Shout outs to Swaggle House Comics. He actually brought up a good point. I was on his show last week, and I advise anybody who missed it or didn't watch it to go check it out. But he actually had said, like, I think the one thing that hurts that book is the fact that the characters are spread out, so you don't get all the characters in that first issue, right? You kind of have to spread them out between like I think 1, 3, 7, and 9 to get.
There's a bunch of them.
Yeah, so I think like that's what hurts it, and I never really looked at it that way, even though I knew that information. I was like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. So
yeah, but I mean that book pinnacled around 3,200 US for a few months there, and I mean I was lucky to sell a couple, so I mean I was happy. But yeah,
this is the time to buy them too.
Actually, I'd wait till the summer, but yeah, you're right. I mean, it's kind of like why I was buying this. I bought this. No one gives a shit about this book right now.
Nobody gives a fuck.
No one gives a shit. But this book's this is a real key from the Silver Age, and it will be again. Like people will find it exciting again. I guarantee it. So,
well,
buy on the wall, gentlemen and girls.
And ladies, I was gonna say
ladies. Sorry, ladies.
Well, speaking of the future, that's what the show's about today. So we got 8 characters that we're gonna be looking at, 3 to 4 books each character. In the chat, if you have a book that you think that maybe should be added to that character that we should be looking for, of course, give your recommendation in your comments. Me and Chris are gonna kind of put our own little information on the books. Swag, what's up, man? I just talked about you. But yeah, before we start the show, let's say hello to the chat. Dan Delatore, what's going on, man? Golden Medal, Ancient One, what's happening?
Ancient One, Jesus.
Oh, because he's on the Tony Sanders show.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So that's the wrestler that he took on.
I thought you were just being a prick.
No, it says that right there. Look, man. Wesley, yes, the Canadians finally have a medal. I actually put myself as the bronze because I didn't want no medals to go straight 3 for 3 in the U.S. But what's going on? Michael, what's going on, man? How are you? Sam Rock, haven't seen you in a while, brother. Hope you're safe. Hope you're good. Hope you're staying warm. He's around the area too, so he's probably going through this damn cold.
Oh, yeah.
Empire Comics, what's up, man? How you doing? Just Cruz, another local guy. Miguel, what's going on? TKO Collectibles, thanks for joining. Comics on the Edge. Future Specs. I don't want to yell just in case. Nowhere Bound, what is going on, sir? How you doing? Uncanny.
Nemesis is back.
What's Justin. That?
Nemesis Prime's here.
Oh, nice. Uncanny. Sorry. Shoot. Swaggle House, what's going on, man? Yeah, I was talking about the show that we did last week. So yeah, guys, I'll say it again. If you missed the rewind, make sure you guys go check it out. Swaggle House. Lots of good information given out, man. Don't be scared away because it was almost like a 3.5 hour show. It flew by. It was a good time. A lot of good information. So make sure you guys go check it out. Let's see here. Who else? Nemesis Prime. What's going on, man? How you doing, brother? RP. So yeah, there's a lot of you guys. You guys know the drill. Once you guys come in, I'll give you guys a shout out. So yeah, let's start the show. I love talking comics, so let's do that on a comic channel, right?
Let's do this.
All right. So again, guys, we're talking some future characters that we're 85-90% sure that we're going to be seeing. Some books to be on the lookout for. Some you might already know. Some might surprise you, or maybe some you're just not sold on. So that's what me and Chris are here for. We're going to give our information. Now, me and Chris might not agree, so he might throw a book that maybe I missed, or even in the chat. So yeah, let's get it started. Let's start off pretty easy here. All right, first character, future, Sam Alexander. This book has just risen in price. Chris, the first appearance, I'm not sure if you own it.
I have a 9.8.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Marvel Point One, I paid for a 9.8. I paid $140 Canadian shipped last year. The guy was local. I got it in like a day. Like
Nice.
a day.
It's worth about $550 now.
Yeah, it's $550. But the
Canadian.
thing is, there's also a like the variant with like all those characters on the cover. That one is going for some crazy money too. I think it's reached like $650, somewhere around there, Canadian.
I don't fuck with variants too often though. It's like
no,
too much of a bitch to go after.
But that one for some reason is just like taken off, man. It's really like, yeah, I don't know. I kind of like this one minus like, you know, the Watcher's big head in the middle. But I mean,
I gotta be honest, I think this character is awesome, and I just, even if like Dick Ryder is gonna be Nova, I imagine, as the first one, Richard Ryder, Dick Ryder. Dick. I just think this, regardless, will always garner attention. People will always go after it, thinking that he'll come in eventually, even if he never does. And I do think he will eventually.
Well, with all the kids that they got coming in, you would assume that this one would take it. I think the only thing that we've kind of,
but honestly, like Richard Ryder is supposed to be a kid. Like he's like Peter Parker of space, if you read it.
Oh, so don't say that, because BC somewhere listening, either on the rewind or in the background, being, you know, because he's always said, you know, Nova is the Spider-Man of space, and it's like, oh,
he's right.
Yeah, but it's a running joke, you know. So
I guess we'll see. That joke.
Second appearance is one of those Avengers versus X-Men books. It's really difficult unless you know what you're looking for, because you could pass it easily. I mean, all those books just kind of have a similar, you know, cover. But second appearances aren't, you know, you shouldn't sleep on them. And I'm learning that this in the last, like, say 8 to 10 months, I've learned that certain books, I mean, you could get the second appearance and make a little bit of coin. So be careful. And then finally, we got that solo series right there, which, you know, like any character, once the first appearance is out of reach, the origin or a second appearance or cameo, people usually flock to the first solo.
It's a great cover too.
Yeah. I'm digging it, man. I like this character. I like where this is going to go. Yeah. You only have the one book, or do you have all three?
I have. I only have the first appearance and the first solo. I have multiples of them though. I was grabbing them a few years back, raw, and I've just been grading. But actually, I just got the Marvel Point One in a 9.8. I just found out, like, it just hasn't arrived yet. So, but yeah, I was pretty happy about that. And I have about 3 more going in. So,
Specs Man, what's going on, man?
Hey, Specs.
There's a guy in Facebook, Canada only. He actually, and I tagged BC. I should tag you, but this guy's got like stacks of the Point One, but like 5 or 6 stacks, and then he's got like maybe 8 stacks of that variant that's like going for price.
Jesus,
like crazy, man. And I'm
Is
like,
he selling them raw?
He's selling them raw.
Good price. You should hook me up.
Yeah. So, I mean, depending on the price that he gives them, we'll see. But, you know, who knows? I think the second appearance will probably gander, you know, some money. But at the same time, I mean, that, you know, that first appearance is still cheap and affordable if you can find it.
I think the second appearance will be important once that first appearance goes over $1,000 in 9.8. And then people can't afford it.
Yeah, I'm holding on to it. I've had offers already for about $500 for my 9.8. Some in like the 400, 450 range, and I've turned them all down just simply because I know once he's announced or once there's an Easter egg of it,
go through the roof.
It's just a $1,000.
And also, the best thing about this book is that once even Richard Ryder's mentioned in anything, and we all know at some point he will show up, this book will just go crazy. Yeah. Every Richard Ryder key will go crazy. So these, in my opinion, are part of that little family. So
would you add any books to be on the lookout for when it comes to Sam Alexander?
No, I really wouldn't. I but you know me, I'm like a guy. First appearance, first solo. That's my thing. And I think everything else, like if you focused on those at the beginning of any collecting cycle for a character, you're gonna make the best in return on your money on those 2 books generally. Everything else is just kind of, in my opinion, a lot of extra boxes in my storage locker. That's how I look at it. So, yeah.
The other thing I think is important to point out, and you always mention this with certain characters too, though, is because there's not that many keys, and all the keys for this character are like dollar books.
Yeah.
You know, I would probably grab them. I know, like him joining the New Warriors, him joining.
Well, he must have some villains that are strictly his villain too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I'm sure Key Collector could help us with that. Not that I did any research on it. So, but I'm sure there's some villains. I mean, I'd go after those. Always go after the villains.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. But most of these books, other than like these three for this character, are nothing books. So, you know, just be on the lookout for it. And again, a character that we most likely, I'm thinking 85% we will see down the road, because we're getting the kids. We're getting this next generation. So whether we get him just coming in alone, him with Ryder, him, both of them, you know, it's going to be nice. So yeah, don't sleep on the book, man. All right, let's move on to the next character, Blade. Now, some of these books, maybe you're not really familiar with. I think all three of them are pretty hot books, books that you should be getting. I think Chris is going to show off two that he just picked up today.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Let's just give me a second here. Where is it? Where are you? Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, I'm a big Blade fan.
Boom.
Yeah. So
First solo.
I have like 4 of those. That's it. That first solo it's not the easiest book to find at all, as we all know. I don't know what happened to that book. I mean, I don't know what the numbers are on it, but it's kind of a ghost. I just don't see it ever. So
I've told the story. Well, first let's get to the book. So one of the books that was kind of heating up and a lot of people are going after is that Captain Britain book. So Captain Britain, I think it's issue number 5. You can find this in the dollar bins. I found like 4 of them.
What's the significance? He just joins the MI.
He just joined the MI 13, which a lot of people, you know, after Eternals are saying, hey, that's going to happen. I'm kind of, you know, foolish on myself because I found those 4 copies for $1. I sold all 4. I got about $20 for each. So, I mean, I thought it was a good deal at the time. I wish I would have just maybe kept 1.
Yeah.
The next book I've actually spec'd on months ago. We talked about this not too long ago as well, but the new Spirits of Vengeance. So this one could be it. I mean, Blade's on the cover, so it looks kind of cool. We don't know necessarily which characters. So like same with Midnight Suns, right? Everybody's like, oh, it's this book. Well, you know, there's so many variations of that team. Who knows which one we get? Just cover your bases, especially when the books are just like dollar bin. And then the solo. If you can find them raw, Chris, I mean, you just picked up 2. You could probably attest, right? They're still affordable raw.
Yeah. I mean, it's a weird book. Like you can get 9/8 for under 400. Yeah. I think even under 300 on occasion. And I'm finding people are wanting like near mint copies raw, like almost $200. Like they're not cheap. And I would recommend just buy a 9/8. If you can find one, buy a 9/8.
Yeah, don't do what Newbie did and buy a 9/6. However,
I think
I only paid $200 for mine.
It'll pay off.
Yeah, and go ahead.
He has, like, I mean, he's a really neat. I mean, he's one of my favorite characters. I'm a horror guy. There's so many keys for him, that are really cool. And I mean, these are obviously modern keys, but like, there's his first appearance in Tomb of Dracula 10, which we should all have. I mean, if you really want the key, that's the key. But it might be priced out for most people. But, there's also issue 13, which is Deacon Frost's first appearance and the origin of Blade, which I'm a huge fan of that book. And it's starting to get pretty pricey. But one that I think people are really ignoring is issue 25 of Tomb of Dracula. It's the first Hannibal King. And I've been kind of snagging a few here and there over the years. And it's still very cheap. You can get 9/4s for under $200. And he's a major like Blade, character, and people are sleeping on that book. I think
that's the same with like a few. Like I know I can mention like Marvel Presents 1 as well. Like I think that's a super undervalued book because in 9/6 you're looking at almost $250 Canadian.
Yep.
Which when you look at that grade for that time that book came out, I mean that's a steal.
It's ridiculously cheap.
Especially we know Blade is coming. We know if we've watched all the Blade movies with the Bloodstone and all that. I mean, Ulysses is part of Blade's history. He's got to be there. He's got to show up.
Yeah.
I just think that there's so much room to grow on that book, and people sleep on that one, man.
I personally would try and stick with like the first appearance of characters. Like I'm not a big fan like of buying like this Captain Britain issue here isn't my favorite, but I understand why you would. It has a lot of growth ahead of it, but it's I would rather put my money in the first solo or his first appearance or one of his villain keys. I've never really been a guy who chased after keys where they join teams and things like that because the growth isn't as strong with it. But it doesn't mean you're not going to make money. You're just not going to flip it for. You're not going to make thousands or multiple hundreds, but you could make 100 maybe. You know.
We've had 2 comments from the comment section. So Specsman is saying, don't forget about Night Stalkers #1.
Oh yeah,
that's not
absolutely.
a bad late book to have. He's saying that it's $1 book.
Yeah, I grab them every time I see them.
And then Ozzy saying Tomb of Dracula 58-2. Now, Chris, you're more familiar with that run after like issue 30. I don't know what 58 is, so you might have to let me know on that one. Offhand,
50,
you know?
It's 58. That's not. I don't even know what that issue is. I know the cover, but I can't. My brain's farting. I don't know. Ozzy, what is it?
My brain is farting.
It's literally farting right now. I don't know.
What are your thoughts for anybody who maybe wants to get in on, say, a Tomb of Dracula? They look at the price and they're like any advice, say if you were like just investing in it or looking for a flip? I mean, I think there's a lot of meat on that bone. I
think there's meat on all of it. I really think the average collector isn't paying attention. I mean, more aggressive collectors are very well aware of it, and that's why the prices have risen to what they're at now. But you look at it, he's a major Bronze Age character, and you can still pick up 7.0 copies of his first appearance under $2,000. Yeah, I mean that's it's just a matter of if he becomes what they're hoping to become with him, and he becomes somewhat iconic. There's no reason why that can't be double easily or more. I mean,
it's similar to what I keep telling people about Shang-Chi, right? Like everybody laughed, and you know, our good friend Ryan at Automatic Comics always says, he's like, you know, people laughed and he had like a bunch of copies and he sold a few, but like he was picking them up at like, you know, $600 to $800 just before, and then the movie took off, and then he was, you know, like other people selling them for like $1,800, $2,000 because it just went up that much. And people were saying that's too much for Shang-Chi, like right away before the movie. I think the same thing's going to happen here because you have a bigger character, a bigger role. You're getting into that vampire and the horror aspect of things. I think it could get crazy.
And the beautiful thing about this horror world is that we haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah.
Like at all. Like we haven't seen anything. And when the average collector starts seeing stuff, like guys who aren't as aggressive as we are, start seeing it, everyone's going to pile drive after it. And not just this, they're going to go after the World by Nights and everything. Horror has a huge growth in it. I would go after all of this stuff if you haven't already. And
the werewolf one is still cheap. I think Werewolf, the Living Mummy, all that stuff is super cheap. What grade is that? 8.5?
8.5.
Nice, man.
Yeah, this isn't a super easy book to get.
No,
in the higher grades.
No, but they were so affordable. I mean, a 5.0 was going for like $350 Canadian in the like in the fall, like just recently as like September, October.
Yeah, I paid $200 for that one.
Yeah,
like
they're super cheap. But like even the Mummy, don't sleep on the Mummy, man. The Living Mummy and all that.
Frankenstein, there's so many.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, definitely be on the lookout. That first solo, I think, is going to be the winner out of all of them. But don't sleep on that Spirits of Vengeance as well. It's there for sure. Dan.
It's a cool cover too. I like that cover a lot.
Marvel Spotlight 5 will continue to accelerate in price. Yeah, I think, Chris, I know that's one of your biggest books that you grabbed last year, and it's one of
my big book last year.
Yeah, that book, I think that one and Tomb of Dracula 10 will reach a point very soon with any news or a hint of, I think his name is Marshall Ali.
Marshalla
Ali. As soon as we see like a picture or more than just like his voice off camera, I think Tomb of Dracula. I think once they announce the casting for Ghost Rider or something similar to that, I think both those books are just going to be untouchable. I think they're just going to be so out of reach for people. You might want to get in now.
Specsman says wait another 3 to 4 months on Tomb of Dracula 10 to get past Disney Plus release of Eternals, but before the Halloween special. You mean wait to buy?
Oh yeah, because Eternals is coming out in a few days on Disney Plus. So then he's probably thinking, oh, people are gonna jump in because they're gonna be able to see the fact that like Blade's voice is in it or whatever. So I
Oh
think
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
that's what he means.
No,
Yeah.
he's not wrong. Yeah, he's not wrong. But I still think, regardless of any peaks and valleys this year, I think all year that would be a good book to buy. I would put that on your list to get, because I don't think you're gonna be able to get it in a year after this year. Personally, it'll be one of those like out of reach books.
Def is saying sort of new. If you purchase a polybag book, do you remove and
Yes,
bag and board? Yes.
yes.
Unless
Immediately.
you really want to, don't think for any second or any thought anybody will tell you. Just because it's in a poly bag does not mean it's in 9.8 condition. It does not mean that it's in, perfect
A lot of
condition,
those polybags have a seam on the back, and
it ruins it.
It ruins the book. So you have to get it pressed to get it out, and sometimes you have to multiply press it multiple times. It can be a real pain in the ass. So yeah, get it out of those bags.
Mr. Key Issues, buddy of mine, he actually had that Miles Morales one that came in the polybag. I think it's his second appearance.
Ultimate Fallout 4 came in this polybag.
Yeah. No, it was I'm pretty sure it's the second appearance. So he got it.
Yeah.
And it was in great condition. Like he thought the same thing. And then we opened it up when we went to a presser that we got. And the presser said, he's like, man, this is like maybe a 7.5, maybe. Right. So, you don't necessarily. And there's a lot of books. I think maybe that question came up simply because, that Ghost Rider book too. Ghost Rider.
I was actually just going to mention that book. There's a couple unscrupulous dealers that are very well aware that their books aren't in great shape. They've been banged around, and they're selling them in the poly bag and saying they're mint, and they're not. I pulled, I have a lot of that book over the years. I picked it up when it used to be
a nothing book.
It was a nothing book.
Yeah.
It was a dollar bin book, and I've pulled all of them out. And I'd say I was actually shocked at how few were in near mint. I mean, I still have 15 near mint copies, and a bunch of 9.8s, but I probably bought 40. And the rest of them are just kind of they're mush now.
you know what's funny is like, when we talk, or when I talk to Dan, just some of the more experienced guys, you guys have been, collecting more. It's funny to me when you guys talk about like, oh, like this book was everywhere. It was for like $1.
It was. That was only 4 years ago.
Yeah. But like, as I'm getting older, like now like my stories of like, oh, this book being everywhere, like ASM 365.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2099, Ghost Rider 28. Like these books were fucking everywhere.
Well, that's what like X-Men 4. Box. I saw X-Men 4.
X-Men 4. That's another one.
Sold for like $335 the other day on eBay. Like I'm sure that's the price for it. I can't get my head wrapped around that. Like I probably have 30 copies myself. I know guys who had long boxes of that book. Like that, it was so
it was. See, and that's another thing. When a book that you see all the time is like $1, $5, $10, and then you see it out of nowhere for 50, you're like, are you out of your fucking mind? But then it rose, right? Because everybody was like, Omega Red is coming, Omega Red is coming, and
I also have to grow up and realize that like when you see that happen multiple times, like I mean, people felt that about She-Hulk. Eternals were everywhere at one point, and now they're what $1,800 in 9.8, and so. I just have to realize like there's potential in everything at some point. So you just have to find it.
Is it too crazy to think of Mighty Avengers 1 as a spec because of Blade as Spider Hero?
I think it's like a flipper thing. Everyone goes that, if it's $5 now, it might be a $15 book. You could sell raw or something because people are just like Blade crazy. Yeah. But I personally can't imagine that being some giant spec. I think just like really cool covers and like solos and there's like that Captain Britain. I mean, I think that one will garner more attention for sure. But yeah, man, anything Blade is just going to spike. So make sure you get it now before it's too late. Or you can't.
I love when seasoned collectors will recall books that are valuable being in the dollar bin, but also bash newer keys and call them $1.
Yeah, but it's true.
It's true, man. It's true. Justin, let's talk Star Wars spec. Oh boy. I think I've only talked about like 3 Star Wars books in my whole YouTube life. So maybe one day. All right, this one's interesting. This is one of my favorite characters. Always has been. I don't know why. it always gets a little dicey. And Chris, we've talked about this many times. This book, it's not at a height of Hulk 180, Hulk 181. You're not going to see those prices with this book. However, the argument of what is his first appearance is one of those that really goes back and forth. I mean, people.
I have really strong opinions on this.
I think it's 3.
I think it's. I actually, to be honest, the market thinks it's 3 too. But saying that, really, people are Secret Wars #1, the first series, just because it has his voice and stuff. Would probably, that's what people were always going to be the major key for this whole thing. But saying that, 3 for sure. I mean, I spec pretty hard on 3 actually. To be honest, I spec on 1, 2, and 3 because I didn't even know which one.
Yeah.
So and they were all dollar bin books. So I probably bought 30 of each, and for $1 each. So it was $100 I spent. Woo-hoo. And it turns out the 3 is the one that seems to be winning. And
it's more expensive, yeah.
And then when Secret Wars shows up and the Beyonder turns out to look like Don Johnson in a blazer, we're set. We're gonna be millionaires. But I do think that's the book to get.
Yeah. If you can find one cheaper, I mean, I've come across slabs for #1 there, and they're pretty affordable depending on the grade. There are some 9/8 that you would be surprised what they go for. Now, I've always thought, you know what? Okay, it's a little fuzzy. Am I really gonna let the market dictate it? Because if I come across one or the and not the other, or vice versa, right? I've always thought that Fantastic Four, being a fan of Fantastic Four, I mean, this is going to be totally biased, and the fact that I like Beyonder, but that origin is basically like, hey, you know what? This is the origin. Boom. This is a key for the character.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
for
that's
sure.
Probably the one book that has the biggest upside out of all of them, because you can still find that book for about $5 in like great condition.
Yeah. No, I think it's a great book because he doesn't have. Well, I mean, he has a lot of appearances in this era because he was popping up everywhere, but the origin is kind of his only key outside of like showing up.
Yeah.
If you really, in my opinion, outside of the series. So I love it. Yeah. I think
you also get him as like him, right? So like you have him with the dark hair, which he gets in 3, like he's in the costume, like
he's a character. He's a character.
Yeah. Right. So I've got about maybe 10 copies of this. I got 2 newsstands. I just sold. Well, I had 3. I have 2 now, but I sold one to Tim because he wanted one. He was looking for one. So I said, you know what? Here, man, like I've got enough of these.
You'll find more.
Yeah, it's a book that's still out there because, one, let's be real, there's not a lot of like Beyonder fans. 2, there's not a lot of like people picking up Fantastic Four keys, at least in like my area or my experience. And 3, I mean, if you're looking for a Fantastic Four, you're not really looking in the 300s, especially not 319. Like that's just how it is. So
I will say this though, I see that book plucked out a lot more nowadays. People are noticing it out here. Because I always go flipping through there, and 319 is not always there anymore.
Damn, man.
Yeah. So I to be honest, I think this is what are 9/8 on the issue 3? I think are around 250 right now, US 200 to 250 ish.
So they've gone down.
Yeah, they have. Well, everything's gone down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not past that COVID spike, but yeah, I mean, I think they were spiking around 300 ish, maybe 325. So yeah, that's still a really good return on a fucking dollar bin book because nobody's paying attention to this book, and if they are, they're probably pricing it at $10. Woo!
Swag. In my head, I'm like, no one's mentioned this yet, and then all of a sudden, fucking
holy shit! That's like the best casting ever. Yeah. Keanu Reeves is Beyonder. That's a perfect.
Dude, you sound like everybody on any character that
I've never heard that before. I think it's great.
Oh my god.
Wait, have you read the series?
No.
Well, there you go.
No, but I mean, from what he looks like, okay, I could see it. I just don't think. No, I think he's too old for it.
Oh, shut your whore mouth.
Just saying. Cruz is saying. I grabbed so many of each of these in the back bins that I pass them up now. But when I don't find anything, I go back and grab them. Yeah. I think it's just like free money.
Yeah.
Right. Because I mean, everybody's like, it's so funny because like now everybody's kind of pushing, hey, Secret Wars. And I mean,
but Secret Wars is a long way away. I mean,
100%.
They seem to have a lot of Kang stuff to do first.
They've got a lot of things to do in general.
This could be fucking 6-7 years away even.
Yeah.
Like it's not coming next week.
No.
So I don't grab them now. You know, who knows where they're going to be sitting in 5 years.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
You got to take the risk. Got to take the risk. All right. America Chavez. We're talking a little modern. So obviously the first appearance, super priced out. So we got 3 books here that, you know, be on the lookout for. So we got the second appearance. So that's Vengeance there. You know, Bullseye. I'm not really a fan of the cover, like the whole Vengeance thing. I don't know. But second appearance, Origin in that Young Avengers, and then the final issue of that America series. Final issues are very scarce. Not a lot of people grab them. They should be something that you guys need to start picking up. Like, let's look at the Ironheart stuff. I mean, Ironheart 12, 11, 10, super hard to find, from like 9 to 12 rather. And people are paying crazy amounts of dollars for that Ironheart 12. So just be on the lookout for him, but definitely a character, you know, we're going to see her in Doctor Strange 2. She's going to have a big role. Again, future character. The middle one, her origin, I don't ever see. I've never seen this book in the wild. I've talked about it. I've heard friends talk about it, saying they found it for like nothing. I've never seen that book in the wild.
I've never seen it either. Hey, I got to ask, why did you choose the final issue over the first issue?
Because it was just more scarce. Because I was thinking the same thing as what happened with Ironheart, right? So Ironheart is just a crazy scarcity for that book, and it goes for a bit. So I think I sold my last issue for about 50 to 60 bucks. And that was just like raw. I wasn't in really good shape. But definitely a character, or a book rather, that I would probably pick up, especially because she has a future.
Oh yeah. I mean, she's going to be in Doctor Strange too. So yeah.
Justin, every time I talk about a book, and I'm like, yeah, I've never seen her, I don't have it, Justin's there with like fucking 25 copies of it.
But you know, Justin, I think he lives in like on the East Coast, like Jersey,
yeah, New York.
They have like 1 million comic shops there. Like you walk down every street, there seems to be a new shop.
I know.
Like, so yeah, these guys are like, I hear Otto and those guys at 3 Men, and they're like running into stores left, right, and center over there.
Yeah. Like, they're like, oh man, you know, I had to go to the washroom, or I was hungry, and then there was a comic book shop there. It's like, oh, of course there is. Of course there is. So yeah. What are your thoughts on America Chavez? I mean, we didn't really see too much of it, but like, do you believe in the character? Like, what do you think?
I'll be honest with you, I haven't really spent a lot of time thinking about this character. For me, it's going to be one of those situations where I'm going to see her on the big screen and either fall in love with her or not. But nothing I've seen has really excited me. I'll just say that. It feels, you know, like that Vengeance 1 priced itself even before she was in a movie so high already that I guess I just went looking to spend my money elsewhere. So I just didn't really pay attention to her, which might be my mistake.
A comic book store in the washroom. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm kind of with Miguel here, and I know there's a few people. I'm just not sold on the character. I mean, I know we only got like a little sample size and stuff like that, but just with, and this is nothing against women. Like, I have 5 sisters, okay? But you know, we got Shuri, we got Riri, we got, you know, Captain Marvel, all, you know, Spectrum, all the, like, we've got a lot of them,
and Miss Marvel coming, and
Miss Marvel,
She-Hulk. There's
She-Hulk. So like, I don't want them to like oversaturate it, but
it feels like they're going that route, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I don't know. It's probably this one and like Khan are probably the 2 that I'm like least excited for. I mean, I'm obviously gonna watch, but like, I'm least excited for these 2 characters.
I keep confusing them.
What?
I don't know why. I keep confusing them. Like, when I don't know why. I just think they're the same character. Because I've read so little of them. So that's more my ignorance than anything. See, I probably should just read up on them.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Like, I don't know too much about America Chavez, like her actual powers. I think it's like strength.
She's like no, it's like portals, isn't it?
Yeah, but portals. Somebody said she can fly, and I was like, what? Okay, sure. But yeah, it's just one of those characters that, you know, maybe I kind of just didn't really care about, and the fact that, like, you know, a few years ago, everybody, you know, we ran into a place where like, it was like, oh yeah, this character is going to show up, man. Oh yeah, this character is going to show up. And that book, just like you said, Chris, I mean, 9/8 were like 1,200 Canadian for the longest time with no indication she was coming.
And hard to get.
Yeah. So
I will say this though, 9 times out of 10, the MCU, like when they put it into a movie, I will probably fall in love with this character and think the character is awesome and dreadfully regret that I never picked up that Vengeance #1. Probably. I mean, it looks like they're like trying to set up a new set of, heroes for us for another generation.
So. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I did read or I did see somewhere where she's like a lesbian, I think. Is that the route they're going with or something like that? Did I read that correctly? I
did see that I think she's wearing
something on her jacket or something like that.
Yeah, there's like a flag, like the pride flag.
The pride I don't want to offend any.
I think it's a pride flag. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. Because I just know that there was a flag on her outfit. So I'm like, okay. Yeah.
Renos, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man? Local guy. Haven't seen him in a while, so good to see you, man. Brandon, Marvel 2-in-1 54, good spec for She-Hulk. Agreed. Yeah. We've talked about that book before.
Yep.
100%. Uncanny saying rather have Rogue.
Me too.
100%.
Yep,
100%.
But Rogue's first appearance is worth almost as much as Vengeance #1.
I still would have Rogue.
I would too. Yeah, absolutely.
Because you have a few bumps, right? You have that X-Men 97 show. I think we'll bump a lot of those characters up regardless if it's animation or not. I think it's going to bump those characters, right?
Yeah. I think Swag's got a good point there.
Yeah. I'd be more of a believer in the book. Yeah, 100%. I think that's what it's always been. But then you get those people that are like, man, why do you hate Magneto? That's a sick Magneto cover. And it's like,
why do you hate Magneto? What are you, racist? Yeah.
Are you racist?
Racist against Magnetos?
It's just, it gets a little crazy. But hey.
She definitely has 2 moms.
Jody, she definitely has 2 moms. Hey, like I said, I don't know too much about the character, but somebody had said that, and I just thought, oh, are they like just throwing this in there, or is that actually like from the story of the character, right?
I just hope she's compelling. That's all I hope. Yeah. So,
because she is pretty young, so like it's not like she like I don't see her owning her own movie. I don't think she's carrying a movie. You know what I mean?
I think we'll find out after Doctor Strange and how we all feel about her.
If all she's doing is, I
bet you there'll be a Disney Plus show though. Why not?
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, just that's a good like farm system. Like
right.
These, so I'm interested to see. All right, Doctor Doom now.
Oh yeah.
When you get to talking Doctor Doom, there is obviously Fantastic Four #5. There's obviously Fantastic Four Annual #2. Super fucking priced out. A lot of people, especially his first appearance. I mean, you're talking about the 5th issue. Showing off my math there. It's like a $5,000 book and like a 1.0. It's just skyrocketing. So, I know talking with Universe X because he's a big Doom fan. I know, talking with the Butcher. There's a lot of people who are Doom. Doom is an iconic villain. These are some books that maybe people aren't paying attention to. Some people are. They're still affordable, but you got the classic cover from issue 47, or 57, sorry. Right there, very iconic cover. Then you got the secret. You got the
Alex Ross, the variant.
Yeah, the variant of Secret Wars there. So that's God Emperor Doom. Yep. And then you got Fantastic Four Annual #7, which is the partial origin of Doom. So it's kind of broken down into 3 parts. So you got Fantastic Four Annual 2, which I think is the winner. This one is a great book. Like I have 2 copies of this. I'm not selling it until he shows up. And then you got that Fantastic Four. I think it's like 357, which is like an origin of his like high school days or like how he got into that shit. But definitely these 3 books right here are very affordable and they're still out there. A lot of Doom stuff is going to fucking explode because Chris, like we always say, we run into the problem where the first appearance is priced the fuck out.
Oh, and that book's like even in VG is $3,000 more. Maybe, I don't even know. It's like ridiculously expensive.
I think it's $5,000 in like a 3.0.
I think you're right. So, I don't have one. It's one of those ones that I just missed, and I feel like an idiot for not getting. I could have bought them 1,000 times over. Never did. Next week.
Yeah.
I will say, like, one thing that I would probably add to this list, I would go after, and they're so cheap right now, all the Byrne Doctor Doom covers because they're fucking gold. All of
like
them.
247.
247 also is his first appearance of his adopted son.
Yeah,
in there as well, which is could be something, I don't know, but it's something to look at. I think 256. Michael Golden did a cover that was really nice.
Yeah,
There's a few others, but they're man. Yeah, Byrne knew how to draw him. But yeah, 247 is one I've been stacking like crazy. I believe in that book.
Yeah, you told me like, well, I knew about the book, but you were
Yeah.
like, hey, don't forget about this one, and I was like, hey, I'm seeing these everywhere. They're
Yeah,
like,
no, I mean, hey man, like you can find them for $5 and they're like $400 in 9.8. And
Yeah.
people don't realize, like, go look at 9.8 Fantastic Fours from the Copper Age. There's so many $300 to $400 books there. And people don't know that. It's crazy. I know. I got a ton of them going into CGC right now.
Calm down. Let's calm down. You're giving away some secrets here.
That's not a lot of secret, man.
Well,
It's like saying, oh, X-Men books are getting expensive. It's just a fact of life.
That Hulk 181, you better get it now. Chris, you are, and I know this, you're a big fan of that Secret Wars #2 book too.
Huge. Yeah, no, I've been stacking this thing for a while. God Emperor Doom. I regardless if he shows up in the MCU or not, he's an incredibly cool character. And I just think people want that to add to their collection because it's a pretty relevant part of the Doom mythology. I think it's very cool. So
Wesley, you're right on this one. I didn't put this one on the list because these ones are cheaper than that one. But yeah, Marvel Superheroes 20, again, another one. Yeah. A great cover. I think raw, those things are going for $400 in like super low grade. I have 3 of those, and like,
do you really?
Yeah, and I have not like touched them. I'm like kind of scared to like, I don't know. Part of me wants to send them off to CGC, and then part of me with like this new price hike, I'm like, do I just keep them raw? Like, I don't know, because it's not going anywhere. Like, I'm not selling it until I see Doom, right? Like, it would just be foolish to get rid of it. And I don't need to, like, I don't need the cash for it. Like, I'd rather like hold on to the book and see where it goes. But yeah, definitely another one that saw a lot of spikes. Is coming down a little bit, but yeah, don't sleep on that annual too. I think a lot of people sleep on that annual. I think I've only heard like 2 people talk about it.
I gotta be frank with you, I didn't even know about it till today. Like, thank you for.
A lot of people just go to #2, right? They're like, oh, it's the Origin of Doom. Okay,
I have that. Yeah, and that's expensive.
I want that book so bad.
Oh, really?
So bad.
Maybe we could do a trade.
A trade?
Yeah, I could trade you for something.
All right. Ludocrats 1 in 25.
2 Ludocrats 1 in 25.
Dude, you know how rare those are? There's nobody having those.
It's a pretty expensive Dr. Doom key.
Let's see here. Spexman saying, Christoph, Doom's son is She-Hulk's first case in the 2015 run. I did not know that.
First case.
Like She-Hulk's first case because she's a lawyer.
Oh, yeah. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
You do know she's a lawyer, right? Like that's got to be.
Yeah,
that's got to be important.
I never knew that. That's very cool.
So I'm actually, it's funny because we were talking about this I was talking about this with a few friends, but like that She-Hulk series, I think is going to be really good. I think a lot of people are underestimating it, similar to like Hawkeye. I think it's going to have a lot of good stuff in it. I mean, me personally, I think we're going to see Daredevil in it. I think it's confirmed Mark Ruffalo's in it. So yeah. There's a few things
when I heard it was going to be kind of modeled after Ally McBeal, I thought that's awesome. Like, it's just different. I just think it'd be fun. So
he's got a good point. How many?
A lot, like a dump truck full right now.
I have so many people message me being like, Noob, I found this book. It cost me nothing. The shop owner basically just gave it to me.
Yeah, they paid you to take it.
I'm reading it. It's kind of cool. But what the fuck, right? And I don't know, man. It was just one of those specs. It's just out there, man. I don't know. I think they could do it as a movie at some point if you know the story. I mean, it's kind of cool. Just take a look at it. Most of those books are in excellent shape too. So, just see. Judy, Dancing Baby, Ali McBeal style, Ally McBeal. Holy shit, I'm old.
Yep, you are.
I remember that show. I love that classic cover. Yeah. Fantastic 457. I think raw you can find it for about $100-$150. So just be on the lookout. The partial origin there, that annual #7, you're looking at about $40 to $60. And then that God Emperor Secret Wars. I mean, Chris, I found mine for like $1.
I think I have 20 of them, and I don't think I paid more than $5 for any of them.
Yeah. So just be on the lookout. Don't
except for this one that Chad Crow found for me on eBay.
That's the Alex.
I think I won this for like $17.
That's not bad.
Not bad.
You're sending it off to CGC?
Yeah.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into one of my favorite characters,
Oh yeah.
Elektra. Well, favorite ladies. So second appearance, first solo / origin in it. Chris, I know you're a big fan of this Elektra Assassins one. I believe the date on it is 1981. I could be
I think
wrong.
it's 80. I think it's like 84.
84. Okay, so 84. A lot of people don't know about this book. A lot of people don't know about the second appearance, to be honest with you. I've shown people, I'm like, oh, this is the second appearance of Elektra. And people are like, no, it's not. So 2 books to be on lookout for. But I mean, with Daredevil's joining the MCU now, Daredevil possibly being in She-Hulk, Daredevil anything means you're going to need Elektra to come in at some point. What are your thoughts? Are you collecting these? Do you have any suggestions to add for Elektra?
As Ryan from Automatic Comics constantly tells you and I that Daredevil has the stupidest characters in it ever. Like all the bad guys,
he hates them.
He hates them, and he does have a point. There's not a lot of great ones. They're all pretty goofy. That makes Elektra and like Bullseye way cooler. And Stick's another one. I'd get that 174.
Yeah, 170.
I think it's 174. No, that's the hand. Sorry, the first appearance. Anyway, there's a bunch of keys.
Look at these villains: the stick, the hand,
they're pretty cool,
man.
Dude, this is like one of the best runs to read ever. This Frank Miller Daredevil run. It's one of the greatest runs in history. I love it. But saying that, when Daredevil's growing in steam right now, everyone's paying attention. This, everyone's gonna go after this shit. So, and what's that 168 going for now? Like big bucks.
168 is going for big bucks. I think in a 2.0, 3.0 range, you're looking at about $400 to $600 bucks. Yeah, somewhere around there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Good.
Well, because like you do the math, right? I mean, if Daredevil is coming, he's just showing. I mean, Elektra's got to come. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? So with all this street level stuff coming, and it's not to say that like people aren't familiar with Daredevil and like he's had those seasons on Netflix. I know they don't have to kind of go that route, but like, we do know a little bit of Daredevil, so I think it is going to be crucial that they bring in Elektra at some point.
So this Elektra Assassin's kind of her first series ever. There was another series that was done around this, I think a little bit before, but it's like a 2-parter, and I seem to remember it being reprints, but I could be wrong. But I always go to this as like her first series in my opinion, and I love it. I think it's great. They're dollar bin fodder. You can find them in high grade. They're great.
Tripod Mayor?
Typhoid Mary.
Typhoid
Issue 270.
Okay.
It's actually not a bad character.
See, that's the thing. You know so much about the Daredevil run.
Like, because Frank Miller was such a big deal when we were kids. Or I was.
Daredevil 176?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know what that is. All right, Chemist, what's going on, man? How you doing? And Swag is on the same train as Chris here. Stiltman coming.
Dude, I got mine sent to CGC already. I do. I love that cover. Stiltman forever.
What about the Matador?
I'm not so much of a fan.
Oh, God.
I like the owl, though. I have a nice first appearance of the owl.
And the stick, Stiltman.
I don't know.
Blue triangle,
dude,
brown T-shirt guy.
They made $3 billion on a movie where all the superheroes went after a guy with a scrotum for a chin. Thanos. So anything's possible.
All right, let's see here. Hold on. Let's dissect this. So Swag is saying Daredevil's coming. Blackheart first in the Daredevil run, and guess who Blackheart is the son of? Mephisto.
Right here on Newbie's channel. Mephisto confirmed again.
Yeah, I'll probably be on CNN. Fuck. Look, Bob, we're taking you live. Yep, taking you live. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, Stiltman. There has been some rumblings that Stiltman is coming.
I don't even care if he comes. If Daredevil keys go up, then we're looking at that being just a very cool book to add to your collection. So,
oh man, yeah, I can't believe. Yeah,
you have a lot of disbelief, don't you, about a lot of stuff?
No, I mean, eventually they have to bring these.
Whatever. If Justin was here, I'd ask him, hey, whenever you talk about a Star Wars spec, is this the reaction you get? I don't know, man. I don't know. I suspect that's the case.
It's just like, because they're so lame, I just have a hard time being like, okay, maybe they'll just like stick him with like Spider-Man and he just fights Spider-Man characters, or like goes up against Kingpin here and there, things like that. Like, I I don't know. I can't wrap my hand around like the hand or like the stick or, you know, just, yeah, I don't know. But hey, anything's possible.
You know what? I'm going to send you a graphic novel of the Frank Miller run. And I guarantee you by the end of it, you're going to fall in love with it.
Probably.
You will absolutely fall in love with it. It's incredible.
Right. Okay.
The most
I'll
cinematic
take a lie detector test too.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
These are 2 good books. Ooh.
This is probably one that you know, a lot of people don't know about.
I got this one.
Yeah, you got the first appearance. Wow. Some people aren't as lucky because the first appearance is about I think it's $1,200 to $1,500 book Canadian. All these other ones though are fucking cheap as hell. Yep. So you got the second appearance right there, which I love this cover. I love it way more than number 1. It's a white cover, so I'm pretty biased. 9/8 for that, $200 Canadian right now on eBay. Actually, scratch that, not on eBay. You got the origin story right there with the Marvel Spectacular, which we talked about, I think about a month ago. Still very affordable. Now there is 2 books. This is I believe it's the variant one because she is right there with the red hair. She's on the left. I think also that book's important because it is Galactus's daughter, which is the chick on the right there. Then of course, Marvel presents Bloodstones #1,
otherwise known as Sexy Galactus.
Sexy Galactus. You got her father's first appearance. So Ulysses, we talked about Ulysses with Blade. That is a very undervalued book, especially in high grade. I think 9/4s are about $240 right now.
Not as easy to find in high grade as people think it is.
No. So that one I would probably just jump on like a nice slab already, to be honest with you.
I would too.
Just because of that. Yeah, it's pretty hard. And then we've also talked about this on the spec show with that Legion of Monsters book right there. She joins the Legion of Monsters and it's a different team. And she's right there on the far right with the red hair. A lot of people were going after that New Wave book as well with her with the red hair. She is a blondie. But Chris, I know you are super excited for this character.
I love Elsa. By the way, I got to stop everything right now and ask, what the fuck does station mean in your chat? Everyone says station all the time. What does that mean?
All the time? No.
Yeah. Yesterday they were saying it. The other day, like a bunch of people said it in a row, and
I think it's because TM Nerdy. I think that's like his intro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I think I won't. Yeah.
I'm just more mystified. I'm like, am I really that old? I'm just missing the
just
young guys
slang, some slang like, yo, what's up?
Station, man. High five. Anyway,
at the end of the show, it's like, yo, Newbie, you didn't say station. Vancouver Comic Check. Somebody give him some love, please.
Exactly.
Somebody give him some love.
Exactly.
Captain's in the house. What's going on, sir?
It's from Bill. I thought it was from Bill and Ted's. It is, yeah, because Station from Bill and Ted 2.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
okay.
Bill and Ted Go to Hell.
Nikki's, yeah, it's from Bill and Ted. Well, there you go. All right.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that because it would have made me seem even older.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that you guys are on the same page. Okay.
Vancouver, get your Bloodstone copies tomorrow.
I already did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I already did. I got 3 of the 1 in 10s, and then I got 10 of the cover A's, which, as you know me, I'm not a big buyer of this stuff.
Especially when you got burned like not too long ago either, right?
Avengers Forever. Fuck. We're gonna have like when I come out to Ontario to the expo, I'll bring those with me and we'll burn them in your backyard.
Just give them to people. They're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. I'll autograph them.
Chris, get off my lawn. You know what? I gotta admit, there was a few kids on my lawn like back in the summer, and I had to tell them, I'm like, yo, can you stop playing on my yard?
You spray them with a hose, man.
I'm kind of like that guy too. And so yeah.
Okay, back to Elsa. I think these are all great books. I hate that cover for that origin book though. I'm not a big fan of the Daughter of Galactus business. It just drives me crazy. I love Elsa. Second appearance. I think, honestly, all of these issues that she did, the first 4 issues, you should get them all because they're really hard to get.
They are. And they're all different covers too. So like
they're very cool.
People have said, hey, Noob, you realize like is there different series because none of the covers actually look the same? They are purposely different.
Yeah, so they're all really cool, and I wouldn't pay $1 million for them, but if you can get them raw, reasonably priced, I think they're good. My favorite on this list is definitely the Marvel Presents, but like we said, you should probably just buy a graded copy because they are quite a bitch to find in high grade. And the Legion of Monsters is just cool. I don't know if I would put that on the list per se, but I think I'd probably put other books up there. I'd probably put Avengers Arena up there instead.
Number one, that one's got like what 15 first appearances and
But
Cullen
brothers in it. Yeah, and also keep in mind, shit, what's the other book? Is it Excalibur 86? No, that's a different.
I know the book you're talking about.
Yeah, he's Pete Wisdom or whatever has connect. Anyway, whatever. These are great. Yeah, I would. I stand by all of them except for the Origin.
So here's the thing too, and Specs Men, I actually was gonna say 15, I thought, but he's saying 21. So there's only 21 covers of Elsa or anything related to Elsa. That is not a lot.
I think he's right. I think every single one of those books is gonna go up. Regardless if she shows up, she's fucking cool.
No, I think this character is going to blow up. To be honest with you, I really do.
She already is.
Well, for a character that like is hearsay,
like you said, this is $1,200. I mean,
yeah, for no reason, right? Like,
I mean, it has a low print. I think it's like 13,000, but still.
Sending in my number one right now.
To be honest, I would probably put money into even a lower grade number one.
Really?
First, yeah, I would over these, just to have it. I think because it's a hard book to get. I think down the road it's going to be a big book.
Yeah.
So
also, if anybody's on the My Comic Shop auction right now and you're bidding on Fantastic Four Annual number 2, can you stop? Because it was literally at 180 and now it's at 366. So can you stop?
God damn it!
God. Go after the qualified one, 5.0 CGC, $61. Take that one. All right. I guess I'm not getting that book tonight. All right. This is probably one of my favorite books to talk about, one of my favorite characters to talk about. I think it's been very slept on, and a lot of people now are getting maybe on the train. A lot of people are posting these books now, being like, man, I never thought about it. But we got Spider-Gwen. So we got the first solo, cover A right there. We got the 1 in 25. And then we got the second appearance. I think these are 3 books that you should not sleep on. Then the second appearance, I mean, the people have been making a big deal about that one. The 1 in 25, most people don't even know that that's the 1 in 25, to be honest with you. It's very cheap. It's literally at ratio price. It's $25. The cover A is literally a $10 to $15 book. And when she hits, I mean, again, going back to first appearances, the first appearance is literally like a $2,000 book in a 9.8. So
right now,
people are going to do when that book is at the height, when the character's right in her face, they're obviously going to go to these. So if you can pick them up already cheap and you have enough time to go get them graded so you can have them when they pop, I mean, I think there is a lot of meat on the bone, a lot of money to be made if you're flipping them, but definitely books that are cheap and still worthy of grabbing.
I'd probably go after that Spider-Man or Spider-Gwen number 1 ratio the hardest out of all 3 of these. Personally, I think that would be the one that people would really want in their collection.
9.8 go for about $400 Canadian.
But so, I mean, raw you could still get them, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Go make some 9.8s.
Yeah,
out of those. Yeah. So I think Spider-Gwen's awesome.
I love the character, and similar to Elektra with Daredevil. Like I don't think you can have a successful Miles without Spider-Gwen. I mean, it's there. She's going to eventually come, especially if you are thinking of Miles showing up. You have to put her in the conversation.
I brought this up before. I still think Miles live action is a decade away at least. They've got too much meat on the bone with the characters they have right now to mess with that billion-dollar franchise. They don't need 2 franchises live action right now.
Outside of the first, what printing is the one to chase for Edge of Spider-Verse 2? So, Chris, I'm not sure if you're familiar with how many printings there are, but there's like a Mexico printing. There's like obviously second, third. I don't know how far it goes. That's a good question, man.
I wouldn't know. That's not for
good question. Yeah. You know who has a 9.8 and bought it off the rack?
Who?
BC.
Nice work, BC.
Has a 9.8 that he bought off the rack, and his number one regret is the fact that he only got 1. He didn't pick up more.
Huh?
Yeah.
We're all cheap. We just don't know.
Who would have thought, though?
Yeah.
Who would have thought? So
I think it's impressive you bought one, to be honest. I don't really, well, I just don't buy a lot of modern stuff. So you guys keep suckering me into more stuff.
I know,
so.
I know, and I felt terrible for you with that of Avengers Forever shit that
There's
you had to
been
deal with.
there's been worse things to deal with than that. So
Listen, people laugh, but like Turok 2 is probably not a very sought after. The print run on that book is probably very low. So Turok 2,
Turok 2.
$2. You know, I'm just saying. Be on the lookout.
Did I tell you I looked at a collection in a storage locker that came up here recently in Vancouver, and a lot of collectors locally went and looked at it. And there was like 3 long boxes of Turok 1 in there. And I was like thinking about buying one long box, like, and see if I can get it for nothing because they're worthless. And just using that as like a something I'd use for shipping books in as like a mailer thing. So maybe send you like 40 copies.
Yeah, please don't. Empire saying, every time you show this book, I remember that I have to go sneak it out of my kid's stash. I gifted her years ago. Oof. Hopefully still in good condition.
Yeah, just steal it. She doesn't care.
Yeah, she probably won't remember, man.
She's into iPhones and shit now.
Yeah. And Ozzy saying that he thinks that it's gone to fifth printing. So
wow.
Yeah. What's up, man? How you doing, brother? Specsman is saying Avengers Forever #1 is selling for 140% on cover right now. That's still a good return.
Yeah, I have to sell them though. That's the problem.
Shit, are you serious? It's at 600?
Wow.
No, it's at 278. There's last chance. I'm leaving it. I'm not picking it up. That
sounds about right. I mean,
that's 3. Yeah, but it's raw. It's 350 Canadian. So
yeah, I yeah.
You pass?
At 350, I'd buy it.
It's too late. It's gone.
Oh.
Thanks, man. I could get a qualified 5.0 for $86.
Huh.
But it's qualified. I like the book. I want to be able to have it as the blue label, right? So,
yeah, I agree. It depends on what the qualified means. Maybe it's a signature.
It's missing pages.
No, I don't want
Yeah, it says it's missing pages from like 14 to like 23. So like it takes up a lot of space. Yeah. A 5.0 on my comic shop is like, yeah, but it's qualified though.
Not anymore, man. I feel like their gradings like slipped a bit in the last year. They're not as extreme as they used to be, because I used to buy books there all the time and they'd be like 2 or 3 grades higher. It'd be really impressive, but I'm not finding it's the case as much.
Yeah.
So, but maybe that's just my experience. I could be wrong. So.
No, I've had that happen too. I've bought some books that were like 4.0 and then I've shipped them off. And when I got them back, they were like 6s.
Yeah.
You know, something like that. So, I mean, yeah, there's always those stories, but.
Well, one of my Werewolf by Night 32s I got, and it was technically a 4.0 by them, and I got a 6.5 on it. So.
Wow,
7. No, I got a 7.0.
Literally gifted you like.
I got a 7.0. Yeah, sorry.
They literally gifted you almost like $2,000.
Pretty much. Well, I mean, this is a year and a half ago. So.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But still, it was like a really good gift. I was really happy with it.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all. All right, that's the show. Future characters and books. Nice. Chris, I want to thank you for stopping by, man. It's always fun when you tune in.
I love it. I love being here.
Thanks, man. Do you want to let the people know where they can find you? Kind of some stuff that you do.
Come to Vancouver Comic Junkie at IG and YouTube. I do promise some videos are going to be coming up soon if Newbie will stop asking me to be on his channel so much. So I'm just kidding. But I do have a bunch of unboxings I got to do over the next few weeks. So we'll be doing that and be getting some guests and stuff like that. But come to IG. I post a lot.
Yeah, he does. And his videos are always dope. His unboxings are crazy. He's not pulling out Turok 2s or Turok 3s. He's pulling out some big books and some books that, Chris, we always talk about, but like books that you were collecting when they were literally nothing. Like you were picking them up for $5-10 and now they're, like $1,500 books. So
yeah, I'm a big fan of buying books at $5 and waiting 5 years on it. I like.
You gotta be patient.
Yep. Yeah,
that's the thing, man. People in this in comics sometimes and it happens to me. They want to know, what book do I get right now so I can like make money tomorrow.
Well, and people are happy making $15, and
I know
it's the amount of time it takes to do that $15 for me isn't worth it. But I'd just rather it sit. But unfortunately, sometimes when that happens, a lot of books sit and don't do anything.
Yeah,
and you end up having a storage locker full of stuff that's
AOA, yeah, no, I know the Eagles are in it. I fucked up when I said that. I was just angry at the Cowboys thing. That's all. But yeah, we're gonna beat the Bucks. We're gonna shock the world. Chris is like, I don't know what you guys are talking about now, but Hard Knocks. Good to see you, fellow Canucks, holding down the house. Good show. Thanks for tuning in, man. All right, that's the show. We will catch you. New Comic Book Day spec and news on Sunday, 9:35 p.m. Eastern time, and then next Tuesday, if Chris wants to hop on, he always is. But we got our good friend Ryan from Automatic Comics.
I'm definitely showing up.
He's coming in next Tuesday, and we are talking key comics to still buy because there's obviously some meat on it. It's more of an investment show. So, if you want to know about like the reading and all that, it's probably another show for you. But yeah, tune in. Ryan's a good guy, numbers guy. If Chris comes on, I mean, it's just going to be a party. So yeah, next Tuesday, keys to still collect. And then Sundays, guys, New Comic Book Day as always. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the Star Wars thing. Enjoy New Comic Book Day. And I'm calling it right now. Bloodstone 1 in 10 is probably the book of the week. I said it.
I agree.
Later.
Bye, guys.